And then the fifth thing that I'm working on is a repatriation task force to the mother continent, which is Africa. What we're trying to do is accumulate money, and we're going to buy a large piece of land in one of the African countries, and we're going to start building a community for Africans from America who want to go back home. That's right. We haven't had a major repatriation movement since Marcus Garvey 100 years ago. So I'm putting that together now. So those are just 5 of the major things that I'm working on when I'm out on stage raising the consciousness of the people.
No, I see. I definitely see. I feel as if one of the ways that we're going to change the reality of Black America is by creating a political culture, a culture that's solely geared towards changing the political reality of America when it comes to Black America. And I definitely agree with some of the things that you're doing, but I feel as if there's so much more that we all can be doing, especially you as a Black leader. I feel as if you can be mobilizing people to actually be against or start taking strides to change the system. I like how you're educating, you're exposing the youth to so many different things, but you need to I feel as if one of the things that you need to do is expose them to their reality, and then expose them to ways that they can change it. Not ways that they can integrate within it, but ways that they can change it by mobilizing.
You cannot change the system. You either destroy them or you create the system.
And then if that's the case, then you need to teach them to do that, because we are not going to move forward as Black people if we continuously stay within a system that's there to destroy us. If destroying it is what needs to be done, then that's what needs to be taught. And it might not happen now, but it might happen in 100 years.
Build our own system. We don't need to destroy white supremacy, as I said earlier. All you have to do is do what you need to do as a people to create your own cultural empire, and white supremacy will automatically fall.
But brother, how will that work when we've tried in the past and it has gotten infiltrated by the FBI?
It was not done from a Pan-Africanist platform. You have to have international allies in order to build up anything successful without it being torn down. The reason why Black Wall Street in Tulsa, in Rosewood, in Charleston, in Wilmington, and all the other Durham, North Carolina, the reason why they failed, they had no international allies. Why did Fidel in Cuba survive America? Cuba is no larger than most of the states in America. 90 miles away from the 90 miles, an hour away, in America could not topple Cuba. Why? Because Cuba had international allies.
From what country?
Brother Russia.
From Russia.
Told America that if you mess with Cuba, you got to mess with us. We have to start thinking like a nation. The problem is our politics is not based on international affairs. We keep on operating like Black Americans within America. And if you keep doing that, you're going to be destroyed. It has to be Pan-Africanism or it will perish.
Well, you also have to take into account the fact that there's a lot of people who are ignorant and don't even identify as Pan-Africanism. They don't identify as an African. So what do you do to those people? Those people need, I feel as if, something new, something that's not already there, something that they can relate to, especially when it comes to the millennial generation. What you're saying is all great, but when it comes to Pan-Africanism, they don't care. How do you reach those youth?
Here's the thing, and this is important for you all as young people to understand this now. Our revolution, like no other revolution, like all other revolutions, will not be a utopia. It will not be a utopia. When those white racists met in Philadelphia to build that United States Constitution and create this country, they fought, they shot each other, people got beat with canes. It was a bloody affair creating the United States Constitution. It was not utopic. Some people had to be disinvited. Some people had to fight outside, and people were killed in duels during that process. So we need to understand that everybody not coming along for the struggle, bro. Find the people who care. The ones who don't, leave them. Whenever I go to a city, I'm in Chicago today, one of my favorite places to come, okay? I'm going to be looking for people who have the heart and the commitment to help Black folks. A lot of the folks who are going to come out today, they want to hear the message, but they don't want to be a part of the movement. So you got to find the people who care enough. Most Black people are psychological casualties of this war. You have physical casualties, people who die, and you have psychological casualties, people whose minds have died. The average Black person will fight you more for trying to get them away from white folks than they would ever fight white folks on your behalf. So find the people who matter. I am not on a crusade to change how every black person thinks. I'm on a crusade to find those who are salvageable and ready to make moves that are critically relevant. And only amongst those am I trying to change mindset. I'm a therapist. When someone comes to me for therapy, you know what my first responsibility is? To evaluate and determine who wants change and who does not. Because if you ain't ready to change, if you ain't ready to stop drinking that alcohol, what you coming to see me for? What you paying me for when you ain't ready to change? I can't fix you. I'm only your guide to help you fix yourself. It's the same thing with the Black Revolution. Find those who are ready. But if you're going to spend your life trying to convince people that what they're doing is wrong, you will be spending the rest of your life doing that. I would argue that this generation of blacks, us collectively, not just the youth, the whole black America today, this generation of black folks is the worst generation we've had in this country. It is the absolute worst. We're selfish. We're scared of white folks. We want to imitate white folks. We still praying to a white Jesus. We don't want to invest in black folks. We don't have no infrastructure. Everybody's off for themselves. We are psychologically, although we're economically the richest, although we're educationally the most elite of any group of blacks that America has produced, psychologically we're the most devastated. I don't have a lot of faith in the adults. That's why I'm building the school, to make that generation of young black revolutionary a whole movement. Could you imagine if you had 500 black children who are all on the same page as to what it is we need to do? Well, that's our problem. We don't have any commonality of purpose. Put 10 black folks in the room. They're going to argue all day over what needs to be done. Half of them still in love with white folks, so they don't want to hear nothing about that. Another 3 of them are Christ out on white Jesus, and they believe we ain't got to do nothing but wait for Jesus to come. Another one going to be crazy off of Muhammad and Islam, and so if everybody become a Muslim, we'll solve our problems. And only one person in that room will have the political and economic vision to know what we need to do.
With all due respect, Dr. Umar, with all due respect, I disagree. Only because I am around a lot of black, and what we talk about, what we are about, we're about change. Every single person, they see the reality. You ask a black person now, if you come up north to Brockton, which you definitely should, you should come build with us and get to know the youth out here, and not even just the youth, but the community, because we're really progressive. But in Boston, in Brockton, and Randolph, around our area, you see a lot of young black folks not only taking it upon themselves to learn about their history, but they're speaking up in classes. They're not taking the bull that the teacher's teaching them. They're out here really trying to make changes. They're being progressive. They're gaining the knowledge. They're respecting their women. I don't think we're the worst generation. I think we're the generation that's going to make the change for the future. I think we are the hope of the future. And I feel as if more elders like you need to find ways to have a better, a more positive view on the future when it comes to us being a part of the change. Because this is the problem that we have. We have elders who doubt our ability to do for self and to continue the revolution that was already left down for us from Malcolm and Martin, from the Black Panthers. The elders don't have faith that we can continue it. And you need to have faith, because we need to continue it. If we don't, who will?
Let me say this. As a Pan-African nationalist, I have complete faith in us as a people to fix this problem. But where I'm going to differ with you and others is on how that gets done. I'm not alien to Boston. I was just there a few months ago. I know the community rather well. And in every community, whether it's Boston or not, you have a black bourgeoisie, and you have a lot of black youth who are waiting to be drafted by that bourgeoisie. So I'm very honest and straightforward about the way things are. Can we change it? Sure. Your job as a young brother, a young leader, is to change the minds of your generation. That's what your job is. My job, okay, is to continue on the path that I'm on, which is very critical, which is creating that alternative, independent educational movement for the youth. As Dr. John Henry Clark said, one of our master teachers who's now an elder and was a great friend and tutor of Malcolm X, okay, we need a revolutionary generation of black youth who have been properly raised, properly socialized, and properly trained, okay? I work with youth all the time. In fact, I probably have the largest youth support base of any scholar in America. I don't think there's another scholar who has more youth that come out and support than that audience today. 75% is probably going to be youth. because that's the relationship I have with those under the age of 25 and even younger than that. But the truth of the matter is, psychologically, I am a realist. And I know the mindset of black folks, young or old, is we are in love with white people. We are in love with integration. We are in love with multiculturalism. We are in love with the LGBT movement. We are in love with anything but ourselves. I'm not giving up on that generation.
Well, I'm gonna have to disagree.
But what I am saying though, is my focus. I determine my focus, no one else. My focus is on building those schools so I can take babies from their parents' house, put them through the right system of preparation. So by the time that they are your age or my age, they're already ready and know what they need to do. I am only looking for those who are salvageable and have the consciousness to do the work according to the platform that Marcus Garvey laid out. I'm not interested in nothing else. Nothing else. I'm not interested in Jesus freaks, Muhammad freaks. I'm not interested in integrationists, LBGTs. I'm not into that. And a lot of your generation is. It's your job to get them ready for what I need them to do.
I agree. It is my job. It is my job to gather up the young people and like my generation to educate them and get them aware and then get them mobilized. But one thing I can say,
but I tell you what, we could do a conference in Boston if y'all want.
It has to be in Brockton.
Brothers and sisters, right here on this line. You know, we can get the what's the theater I was at? What's the black theater up there?
The Strand Theater.
Black on.
The Strand Theater.
Brother Umar, it has to be in Brockton, Massachusetts, the city of champions. That's where we're from. And then we have a base out there.
We can do a youth conference up there.
Cool.
That'd be perfect.
Amazing.
I'll take care of the expenses. We just need to put it together. Let's talk about that. And we can get all the youth. It won't just be for Boston. We'll target Boston, but they can come from wherever they want to come.
Cool.
And we can take a weekend, may even do a week-long Black Revolutionary Leadership and Entrepreneurship Conference.
Okay.
Or something like that. We can make that happen in this year, 2017.
How will I get your contact?
Serious, we can do it.
That would be perfect. I just want to thank you once again, Dr. Umar Johnson, for giving us this amazing interview. Like, you gave us a lot of necessary things to think about and, like, want to change. And I definitely want to thank our other guests as well. Brianna, I want to thank you for being coming on here and telling us about, real estate and teaching us. So I really appreciate that. And of course, our youth in the building, we hope you learned some things and we hope you guys enjoyed yourself. And of course, Bradley, I really appreciate you for being here and asking these hard questions. So Dr. Umar Johnson, we're going to talk a little bit more after the interview so we can switch contact information and get this going. But Wise, would you like to say anything, my brother?
Absolutely. Like Dr. Umar Johnson, I admire your work ethic, your consistency. It's absolutely helping many communities. You're a beacon of hope in many ways. I look at Bradley, who you have been speaking with, as a beacon of hope in many ways as well. And I'm more than willing to connect the dots. And we embrace you with open arms, my brother. We will see you soon. I'll put that out in the air right now as well.
Appreciate it. And just for your listening audience, if they need to reach me, drumarjohnson.com, by telephone 844-4-DRUMAR. Also, Twitter and Instagram. They can follow me at Dr. Umar Johnson, and on Facebook at Dr. Umar Ifatunde. I'm also accepting resumes for the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. Anyone who would like to work at the school can send their resume to SDMG resumes with an S at gmail.com. You can also donate to the fundraiser for the school online at gofundme.com/Dr. Umar. Thank you very much, young folks. I really enjoyed this.
Thank you.
The feeling's mutual.
Absolutely. So please be sure to catch us next time.